check one, two. Mic check one, two. Mic check one, two. Okay. There's snow on the ground. Start doing the audio. Okay. So we're on now. Oh. Okay. Sorry, we're a little bit late. A little bit of Indian time, we'd say. But I was remember that movie Thunderheart, and that old man, he told that FBI agent, and he said, "You need to go on Indian time. White man time will give you stomach cancer." It really made me think about that. Like, what the heck is he talking about? How would you get stomach cancer if you go on white man time? What does that mean? But then you realize when in the Washichu world, there's a difference. Dakota, we take our time with things. Even if we were to have, let's say, maybe have like a business meeting, we would slow things down and visit and talk, and we don't stick to the agenda where we just come and just get to business right away. It's usually there has to be a who are you, where are you from, where's your family coming from, like all of those questions that we often ask first. And that's why when we're on Dakota time, where it's not exactly hurry, hurry, hurry. It's we'll get there when we get there. That's when we'll get there. And so I think with that lifestyle, with that philosophy, you'll notice that people are not as stressed too often in that way. And then also because of that, the families, they get along better, I would say. They help each other better, and because there's patience. There's patience with each other. Wo chi tanka, as we would say for the word for patience. Wo chi tanka. Wo chi tanka. Yeah. It's almost like the way when I hear that word, it's almost like you have a lot of desires, but you're not really you have time, right? Like I need water, I want water right now, but I'll wait. You know, it's like you have the ability to hold off a little bit, And so, but anyways, that's kind of like Dakota philosophy, and we kind of always wanted to talk about the Dakota mentality because you can learn the language till till you know all the words, but if you don't have an understanding of our way of life, our culture, then it just doesn't mean as much, the language and the culture of family, togetherness, helping each other is so important. But I showed up a little late, and here the everybody's ready to go, and they were studying this book here when I walked in. So if you guys want to zoom in on this book, we it's so easy to sit there and say, look at the negative and things and call people, oh, geez, they're making mistakes over there. But we talked about that, and I was saying that's one of the reasons why I like being up here in the front is to show the world that it's okay to make mistakes. Ozzy, all of a sudden, the other day I was saying, "Khahi, khahi." No, it's "ahi, ahi." Little mistakes, little things that I'm learning, and I said, that's exactly why I need to go home and be amongst my own people because they need to correct me. They need to show me the right way. So that way I can be confident in what I'm doing. And so in this book, there's somebody did a wonderful job on collecting all these sentences, and we're really thankful for the work they do. However, sometimes it's easy, especially if you're rushing, maybe you make a lot of mistakes, and that's fine. So if you have this book at home, if you get a chance, and if you don't, you can go get them at the school, correct? Or come here to language class and pick them up. We'll slowly develop getting more and more of the resources that we need here. But this one needs a few corrections. And so we're going to go through them. Right away, I saw one in the beginning. one mistake on one of the pages. But did you guys go through all of the page one and page two and page three and saw all those were okay? Okay. So if you go on page one, we have the word first, hello. How are you? Ashte, nishto, pidama, henana. These look all good. Doshta ake wachianki. I'll see you again. We talked about these ones. Uh, do takad. Oh, takad. Yeah, takad doki tu hai. How is it outside? Oh, ashte chake. Are these all good? All this first page? And so just so you guys know, this first page here, it's done well. This first page, and then we'll go on to the second one here. Uh, Tukte, tue, taku, mie, nie, he. Uh, how about this page? All these good. Look right down to the bottom. We're just gonna make sure that we find the mistakes in this one here. Ahana, or Ahana, long ago. Ieha kacheshni. Didn't make it on time. Ieha kacheshni. Ieha kacheshni. You didn't make it on. Does that sound good? Ieha kacheshni. Ieha kacheshni. Ieha kacheshni. So that one's on. Actually, I never heard that one before. That's why I never said that. We just say it in English at home. Are you on time? You're on time. Ieha kacheshni. Ieha. Is that you didn't make it on time, or is that just didn't make it on time in general? That person, that yeah one right there is you, that part. Okay. Ieha. That's what, in this particular word here, you didn't make it on time. That's what we're saying on that one. Ieha yakacheshni. Ieha yakacheshni. I'm on the side. I'm learning a little bit of German words. And one of the reasons why I'm doing that is to really kind of remind myself and how hard it was to first learn the language, and how detailed you have to be on each sound, each syllable that you're making. Be very, very, pay attention to the details. And so that's why when I say a word like that, I don't say real fast, because you won't learn anything like that. So we'll slow it down. Ihakab, after. That's a real good one too. I like that word right there, just so we know earlier or after, when something later on kind of thing. Ihakab. That's a good one. Tokaya. Tokaya, the first. I heard Unka used to say that before. The first thing I'm going to say here, kind of thing, in the beginning of us when he says something. Tokaya, the first one, the first thing I'm going to address or something. Tokaya. You'll notice that word tokaya and tokatakia sound very similar. Tokatakia is a word for future. Tokatakia. Tokata kia. Towards the future. Tokata. And the reason why I knew this word is this is the word that we often think of in terms of self-government. We'd always have to think about the tokata kia. But tokaya is first, right? So you'll notice a little bit of these similarities like this as you're going along. It's toka, right? That first word there. Yeah, so you'll notice that. Ito could ye. Ito could ye. Ito could ye. He or she leads. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, itokad. They have itokad on there. Yeah. So there's the mistake right there. Itokab. This is the word that we're gonna use for so and so. That's he or she's gonna lead. Those of you that are working with children, imagine this will be real important because certain kids want to run in the front of the, they're going to lead the way kind of thing. And the yeah, and so this word right here, itokab hiyeya, hiyaye, itokab hiyaye. That's all right. New word here for me, itokab. Let's break that down. He, yaye, hiyaye. On this book here, it'll say D right here. Itokad, it says on there. Cud. And that's one of the mistakes on there. And itokab. And but we just did that word earlier. We talked about itokab is the word for before. Is it gub? C-A-B, I would put, right? Itokab. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's how I would put it. But in here, they even have a U. I would take that out, right? Eat. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Itokab hiaye. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, this book here is done phonetically. And so that's she's it's written how it sounded to them. And so just keep that in mind. But this is a good word to know. Itokab hiaye. And I guess you would put a name here, right? In the beginning. Larry or John or Mark or whoever, right? Mark itokab hiaye. Mark leads, is the one who leads. Because we're not specifying who is leading here. We're just saying so and so leads. Itokab. But itokab, just to keep in mind, is that word for before. Before. Itokab. 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 Hiaye. All right. De tokahe. Tokaya. Tokaye. De tokaye. This is the first. So I guess in this situation with this word, what they're doing is they're specifying which one is the first, right? And they're saying it's this one. That's the first. This one's the first one. De tokaye. De tokaye. So that's a good one there. And the last one, ehakech. Is that the word that you're using? Ahakech. 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 Yeah. Okay, yeah. Ahakech. Ahakech. Let's write that down. Ahakech. It's a guttural at the end on that one. Ahakech. For me, I have a hard time reading when it's phonetically. So we all have our own ways, right? For me, I'm like, I don't like phonetics, but for me, personally, I like it done with this style here because it just makes. Well, once you learn, it's just once you learn it, you can never unlearn it, right? That's why I like that way. It took me about an extra month or so to really get the letters and such down, but once I got them, it wasn't that hard. It wasn't that hard at all. Yeah. And so on page 3, Tui, did they look good there? On page 3, we got that word then. Now, then, here, there. Is that ahu? Ahan. Oh, okay, yeah. Ahan, yeah. That makes sense. I remember that word, ahan. At that time, that's how I would write that. Ahan. 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 Ahan he. At that time, you could say that like that, right? Yeah, ahan. Right. Ahan naku. Pardon me? What? Yeah. And then also, you could say, yeah, ahan naku in a conversation. Ahan. We probably want to say here, but this is actual an N. Ahan, ahan. And then also, naku is another word that you could use here in this sentence. Naku. Naku is a word for also. Naku. Ahan, naku, ahan, naku. And then also, ahan, ahan. Make a better A there. Ahan, naku. So ahan would be that word for then. Here, dead, and head. Dead. Here, dead, head, there. That's good. That one. No mistakes on this one, you guys? As we're going along here. On your page 3? Distina. Chistina should be, hey? Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, He Tonka, he is big. So, yeah, you can look at that sentence and say, He Tonka, he's big, or that's big. You could say he's big or that big, He Tonka. And now this one, He Chisti Na. Chisti, Chisti Da, Chisti Na. Yeah. Yeah, so here, one mistake in here, this word, it says distida, should be gistina or gistida. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've never actually heard gistida, but I heard gistieda for a little bit. Yeah, I've heard that one. Kind of like gistieda wanuni. I got lost for a little bit, in time there. Gistieda wanuni. But yeah, they have it written on here uh, like this, but that's be wrong. So it's gonna be G sti na, or some might say it here, G sti da. But this is the most popular one here, Gistina. Yeah. Gistieda epicte. I'm just gonna say a little bit. Yeah. But it's a word for just a little bit. Gistina. Small. Gistina. Shunka kihe gistina. You could say that. Hey, the dog is just tiny. Gistina. Small. Tiny. Gistina. Wanuni. Nuni is kind of lost. Nuni. Nuni. Nuni is Wanuni is I'm lost. Yanuni, you're lost. I can't remember that movie. I don't remember that line in there. Wanuni, Yanuni. Yeah, but I know that's definitely John Dunbar was Noonie on the prairie for sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember there. I thought there was a part there I couldn't figure out what he had said when he was trying to act like a buffalo. And I thought he said we chashed it dokacha or something like he's kind of out of it is or nashkia or something. Yeah, he's lost. He's lost. Yeah. I noticed that that word Yanuni, it just seems like a lot of people tease me because it's just like I'm always roaming around all over, living in different places. So when yeah, when I show up in some place, they always say that Yanuni, are you lost? And I was like, yes. What's new? But now I'm not lost anymore. I kind of know my headings now. Wanunishni, I'm not lost anymore. So yeah. So now we figured that word out there, that gistina, that word, we figured that out. So that's on your third page on this book here. You can just mark that off if you can and say, oh, there's a mistake there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, Anasota. It is empty. Is that right? Yeah. Is there any way we would say that? Ojurashni. That's not good. Yeah. Anasota. I never heard it before. This one's a real good one. I love hearing new words. Anasota. Empty. Empty. Yeah. 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 Your gas is anasota. Always. Anasota eche all the time. It's just always empty. You only fill it up just to turn the light off and then just keep going again. Yeah. Anasota. Yeah. It's always anaso. Your car is always anasota. Your car is always empty. Anasota. And then, yeah, they have the word ojuda. Ojuda is to be full. Ojuda. Ojuda, full. But not full. Inipi, weenipi would be full for like full food. We could talk about that one a little bit later. It's different than ojuda. Ojuda is more just not like full on food. It's just full on something. Yeah. Yeah. Pardon me? Something that's not alive. Water or yeah. 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 Oh, huh. Yeah. And then so ota would be the word for many. That's yeah, I remember hearing that definitely. Otaro. Wa ota. Lots of snow. Maraju ota. Lots of water. That's a very simple sentence that you can learn because there's lots of different stuff, right? Itushni ota. Lots of lies. Itushni sa. Yeah. The liar. Gee, what if they call you that? You don't even know it. You're really talking in a meeting, then somebody is saying that. Itushni sa. Wala ke ietushni do. Now you're lying again. That's something I imagine a brother-in-law would always say to a brother-in-law. If you ever hear that in Dakota culture, gee, those Dakotans are just rude to each other. Chances are that's a brother-in-law teasing a brother-in-law or something like that. And that's a high sign of respect right there. If you're getting teased, uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, Shayapi. Uh huh. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Uh, yeah. So that shayapi, that word there that you're saying, it's like a public, it's like a display of honoring, and it's kind of like a word where you would describe, hey, I'm gonna call Randall Tahashi here from now on, and I'm gonna let everybody know. And so that's that process called shayapi. Yeah. Okay. All right. It makes it interesting. It'd be fun to break that word down because it's almost like they make themselves red. Yeah. Yeah. Shayapi. So see, so just so you guys understand, when I learn a new word like that, because I have an understanding of these small words, sha to be the word for red, ya, they made it go like that. Be by a few people, shayapi. But it'll be the time when whenever somebody's going to honor somebody, if you paint somebody a certain color, this is why Dakota, we never just go throw paint on our face for no reason. Or, oh man, that paint looks good at the powwow. I'm going to go paint myself a certain way because it looks cool. There's a certain meaning behind all of those paints. And so if you're going to get a name giving, or if somebody's going to adopt you or something, they would paint them red, right? And so Shayapi. I know there's a community down south, Chanshayapi. They call it Chanshayapi, the where they paint the trees red. You know, I've heard about that place. Shayapi. Okay, that's a good word. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. So, like in those like the certain, because of the in-law such like that, before you treat them as an in-law, you do the shayapi ceremony in a sense. Then after that's communicated that this person is my in-law, everybody knows now this is my in-law, and I fed him, I did everything, I honored him as an in-law. Now I get to just tease the heck out of him like an in-law. Now that I've done this ceremony, the shaya. So it's good to know that in the future, if you have a new, brand new sister-in-law, brand new brother-in-law, or you do this ceremony, once it's publicly set in motion, now I could go ahead and do all this. Oh my goodness, that's a really good one. Man, that's why I like coming to language class, guys. You just learn new things all the time, little details like that. And you know, one of the things that I noticed is a lot of our elders have these teachings, but they don't realize how important that is. Like that's the stuff I always want to know, like that. And that's an important custom that we had in our community that we need to definitely bring back. Yeah, definitely need to bring that. Man, I kind of wish I could just tease the heck out of my in-laws and make them really cry and just hurt their feelings really bad. My kush used to say, gee, they used to tease me. Sometimes I'll just be crying. And then she took her a while to realize that that was a high form of respect. And so yeah, that's a really good one. Shayapi, 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 shayapi. Yeah. Cho, what's that do? So I heard here earlier, chonana is the word for few, but this one says shona, shokana. But it's chonana, right? Chonana, for just a few. So when we have our language classes, and there's just a few of us here, is that a word you can use? Okay. So somebody might say, we chotapi, eh? Was there lots of people? Say, hiya, chonana, chonana, just a few, chonana. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, that's just a little side note there. Shoka is the word for thick. Shoka. That's how we can call it the Shoka burger. I want to go find a Shoka burger somewhere, thick burger. Yeah. Where can you find a Shoka burger in Brandon? That's how I'm going to start saying that. Shoka. Hmm. Oh yeah. Shina Shoka. Yeah, a thick blanket. That makes sense there too. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, that's the other mistake that's here on page 3 is that word uh, for the word few. Chonana, chonana. Oko ohana. Oko. Okay, say it again. Okay. Oko. Okay, go. Okay, KG on that one. Oko. Oko. Ohana. Yeah. See this word, o go. There's a little pause right here, and there's a little pause on ohana. It's like it's not ohana, 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 o go ohana, oko ohana, oko ohana. To go through an opening. First thing that popped into my mind is when somebody's going through ENEB. And there's a hole right there. There's an opening, and then they're going through it. Oko ohana. He went. Yeah. Wana uka azi oko ohana. He went through the opening. Oko ohana. 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 Oko. 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 Oko ohana. 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 Oko ohana. Oko ohana iai. Went in Ibadabade. I went. Yep. Yep. Oko ohana ibadabade. I went through the opening. Gapea. More than? Gapea. Kapea or gapea? Ka. Kapea. So this is a word here. Usually we try to do the KG right here. Ga. Be. But it's ka. Pe. Ka. Pe. Ka. Pea. More than. Kapea. Kapea. Let's see how would you use that in a sentence. Yeah. Oh. So on this translation here, they have more than. So it's like further than, like more than the road here. So chanku kapea. So it's beyond the road. So more than just the road here, but kapea, way beyond the road. Yeah. Any other sentences we can think of like that for this word here? If we can give it some context. Kapea. I never heard that one word. If you see a car. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. That's where we heard that word when we were talking about when somebody is passing you. So it's describing because they're doing more than what you're doing. So they're doing more than so you're going a certain, and then when they pass you, that would be because they're doing more. Kapea, kapea, kapea. So they're passing you like that. That would be, you're describing not that they're passing you, but they're doing more than what you're doing in a sense, right? Or kapea, okay, kapea. So it's a word kapea. It's a word that Ungkawi Aussie would use when you're being passed. Somebody's passing you in a car. Yeah, we charge that a kapea. Yeah, okay. Kapea. Yeah. Cho, how many people we got visiting tonight? Who's all? How many? 3 right now. Yeah. I know when one of the things that happens is we had, geez, what, a 2-week break there for a little time. Sometimes when that happens, it really throws us all off, I imagine, because we get caught up in routine. And I know for a lot of us, we actually want to make this a part of our routine habit, right? And so we encourage you guys if language class is not on Monday or Tuesday, circumstances that come up, we encourage you to go back to the other classes and just keep at it and just kind of go through it. I know, cause yeah, do the reviews. I know, cause for me, we've already went through so much. Like we've went through hundreds of words already, and so there's a lot we went through. So yeah, so just keep that in mind. Um, Is that what I'm saying? Cost and less? Yeah, washakada is cheap. Yeah. Washakada. So 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 this word right here, you would you prefer it to be washakada? Yeah. So like that's what it says here for this washichusen. It costs less. So would that be the correct way to say it then? Washakada. Just washakada. So we'll correct washakada. Oh. Washakada. 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 So this word here really sounds like strong strength, right? And but that what would make that difference is if that little dot is right here. Washake. But this is washake. Oh, so like those of you that are at home, this is one word here. Like this is yeah. Okay. Washakada. Okay. I'm just going to make a point of this here and we'll talk about this word because how, like, in certain circumstances, there's two words here that sound very similar. Here's the word for strong. Washake. And then this one here. Right? Okay. Washake would be the word for strong. Washakada. Washakada is the word for less than. Yeah. So, so just try, if you can out there, just try to hear this difference. Washake. Washakada. So this one here, it kind of flows. There's no pauses. It kind of flows. Washakada. 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 But this one here, just because this little thing is here, there's a pause. Wash. Ake. So that's one of the huge differences. These little dots here that are in the ear is so important in the language here, how it's pronounced. Washakada. And so on this particular one, it says ao washakada. And when we add that, it's saying it's just a little bit less. Yeah. So when we say washakada, it's less than. But when we say ao washakada, it's a little bit less than. Okay. All right. So we explained that one enough here. I think that's a good one. Those last three are good, Daya? Or they we had now we chaka. Yeah. Yenak chashni. That's not enough. Yenak chashni. Yeah. Awashte. Hey awashte. That's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Yenakchashni. That's what you would say that when you go eat at the buffet in Brandon all the time. Yenakchashni. That's not enough. You know, you're gonna want to go up and get 5 more plates. Yenakchashni. It's not enough. That's not enough. You can just chash. Yenakchashni. You're cheap, Josh. Uh-huh. Yenakchashni. Not enough. Not enough. But nakcha would be that's enough. That's enough. Nakcha. Nakcha. Yeah. Yeah. So if somebody's pouring you soup, and then you could say they're pouring it, and then that's too much there. Nakcha. That's enough. Yeah. Yeah. And the other word is hanakcha. See, that's a different word. I think that's yeah. There's that word. It breaks down from this word. Oh, sorry, mistake. Henakecha, right? But then now that they shortened that to henakcha, like that. Henakcha, henaksha. Yeah, henakcha. Itosh henaksha ktedo. That's our Hirukan. That's gonna be enough for now. Yeah. Henakcha. Henakcha. Yenakcha. That's the other. Yeah. All right. And so we're going to go on page 4 here on this. Yeah, I didn't know we were doing this, so this is just a new one to me. I like rolling with the punches, not saying, I have a certain way I'm going to do it. Well, as soon as I get here, the elders would say, no, you're going to do this. So I listen to what I'm being told here. So today we're going to just kind of go through this book and make sure everything is good and make things oh, yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. 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 Mhm. 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 Yeah. Right. And yeah, our elders do talk about that, relatives where, like a lot of times people would say, I have nobody to help me, I have nobody to teach me, but yet we have all uh, these things are ready to help us. The resources are there. I remember grandpas used to say, like, whatever you need is around you. The resources are there, the elders are there, the programs are there, if you really, really, so there's really not that many excuses, I guess. Hey, now these days, if we really, really want to learn the language, the resources are all around us now. And especially now as long as our elders are here now, so much more our elders are here for us now. That's we're in a scary time, but at the same time we're rich because we might say, oh, we only have 90 languages speakers left. At least we're not saying we have 2. you know, at least now we can say we're so thankful we have 90 language speakers left, and those are the. Yeah, let's add to that 90. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Randall and I will be 92 come springtime here. Yeah, all right. Yeah. All right. So, Chun, there's a real Shicha word here. It says ashiche. I didn't want to say it out loud. I said, why do they want to tell people that word? But it's a word that, you know, it's a word. Yeah, ashiche. It's an ugly dog or something that's just really not really pleasing to look at. Ashiche. I won't go. I'm not going to write these down because the book is there. You can go see Tui Kathy or Randall here. Talk to Randall. He can give you all that information. I think they're all sitting in that office at the school over there. Hey, and then you could go in there and just ask for resources. So that this book is there. So I won't write it too much. We're just mainly going to go through, look for the mistakes that are in here. So yeah. He ashiche shapeshni. Is not there. Shape would be. We talked about that word shabieta, shape, to be dirty. We talked about those. So no mistakes on this page here, you guys. You guys went through this one already. Okay. All right. So number page 4 on this book is good. Atewaye, my dad. I had a question about atewaye, inawaye. Down south, you hear uh, mikushi. You'd hear stuff like that instead of ukushiwaye. You'd hear like mitakoja, kind of like that. You'd hear that. What's the difference between that? How come you wouldn't say takojawaye versus mitakoja in that situation? Do you guys have an idea why that is? Because I always had that question. What's the difference?
I guess it depends, again, how it came to be, like how people speak Ohana
Hmm. Dialect.
dialect.
Okay, it's a dialect
It
difference.
has a lot to
Because
do
I've
with it.
never heard miate. Miate. I heard atewaye. And yeah, yeah, it sounds
Like in Sioux Valley, that's what we say.
atewaye. Yeah. So, it just there's certain uh, changes though. How are like mi takoja. That's a very rare circumstance because takoja waye. We never heard. I don't hear that too often.
Yeah.
On that. So anyway, I think that's a lot of times we have these meetings where we sit down and we talk with the elders and we have these kind of discussions. And so, by the way, I think would everybody be allowed to come to those meetings? If somebody's like a language learner, if somebody's really wanted to sit down with us, and when we have those meetings, sure. Randall said sure. So come on out. Yeah,
Just like
yeah,
when people say damakote, I heard people, not here, but in other communities, they say madakote.
madakote. Yeah, damakote, madakote.
So that's, pretty well the same as if you were,
Yeah, tomato, tomato.
yeah.
That's a yeah, damakota, danikota, daunkota. Yeah. And then you would hear madakota. So we're just talking about those little variations you would hear in different communities. Those aren't wrong. And we're not wrong here. It's just different variations on how we would say that. So, because, yeah, on here I notice atewaye, inawaye, my mom, my mom. Inawaye, atewaye, my mom. Kushiwaye. Yeah.
Going back to the talk with Dakota and others,
Yeah.
if we were talking about like this group we're talking about somebody over there,
Yeah.
then I can maybe say that hey Takoja.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But if we're sitting here and we're talking about you, I'm talking to you, let me Takoja.
Oh, okay. So so you would use that word almost like because he's in the room,
Yeah,
he's right there, you'd say mitakoja.
give me Takoja.
And then but if you're talking about him like he's way over there doing something, not here with us, takoja wae. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay. See, that's really fun to break that down and really look at the different circumstances, the context, and why those words change like that. Yeah. Oh, huh. Oh, huh. Washte. Yeah. Me Tom, me Chu, older sister. Well, we said we were going to do that. Tui, would you be able to come? You'll be here tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, we could do the relative one tomorrow, hey? So I know we said we were going to do that this week, and
There's always a lot of questions on that.
Yeah.
How do you say the relative?
right. Yeah, yeah. So if those of you that the elders that are if you can come tomorrow, 'cause the more we have tomorrow, the better. I think on that one. So, yeah, I think it's so important to get those
Long
relative
time
greetings.
ago, that's how people addressed each other is through kinship terms,
Right. Yeah.
instead of saying the name. Or, like, for instance, I'll use an example, my dad. When my dad talked about a person, take for instance, Carson Taylor, he would say, Sue Carson. Or if he talked about a Tahoshi Tom, or, like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't hear that anymore. We just straight out and
Yeah.
say the name.
Just just the first name they have. Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
those kinds of things need to come out because
Yeah.
I think that is, the reason why people say that because they don't know.
Yeah.
So we have to teach those to them.
Okay. Yeah.
This is how you say it.
So, so next week, yeah, definitely. What our elder were talking about how they used to hear their mums and their dads. They never just said, I'm gonna go see Nan. It's always Taha Nan or Tahashi Nan. There was always the reference of how you're related, and definitely, I've heard somebody say at one time that once we lost that, that's when the family feeling left the community.
Yeah,
Soon as we,
that's what I always say.
yeah, yes, the relative feeling
Yeah,
left, right?
it
Because
fell apart
right,
for each family, right?
right,
Like that's how come I think, you know, families don't know each other.
right.
So
We don't know each
therefore,
other,
they don't know they're related to that person
right,
and they go and stay with them.
right, yeah,
See, we have to try and
right,
fix that.
yeah. Top priority. So
Yeah,
definitely, I think we can fix this issue tomorrow by us coming together. And from what I remember too, on that in that green book, there's a green book that's just like this one, and it has stories on there. That green book has all the relative terms in there. And I remember I was saying, did you see any at the school? Did you didn't happen to see any? Nothing there. I have one down in Sisseton. I'll go down there tonight and get it and bring it back for tomorrow. Hey,
Give your best. You go
give me gas. Load up my truck tonight. I'll leave after class here to Sisseton. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, oh, Judah. Yeah. Tuni said she'll chip in 20. Don't go on Asota. Yeah. Yeah. Don't go empty. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we'll talk about that definitely in the next class, the relative terms. I think it's so important that we bring that back, even when somebody calls it husband and wife and all those terms as well. I think that's a beautiful, very, very important. Yeah. All right. So you guys went through this page 4, page 5 here, and you guys saw that there was no mistakes. If not, then we can just go ahead and move on.
just sister to sister. I think it would be on page 4.
Uh huh.
Nichue.
Nichue,
Yeah, not Nuchue.
not Nuchue. Okay, so on page 4, Nichue. Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. There's no Nuchue. I never heard that before either. Nichue, sister to sister. Nichue, not Nuchue. So make a note. Maybe even if you guys have notebook in front of you, just make a note on Dakota Wichoye. Wichoye. He said Wichoye. Dakota Singh's survival book here. You could just make a note that on page 4, that there's one mistake on page 4, Nichue, and not Nuchue. And that's only that one on that one. And then we're gonna move on to page 5 here. The elders are kind of gonna look through it here, make sure that we're clear. We got the okay to move forward. Wota TP restaurant. That's a good one. Ihia tipi. Is that what they say for bathroom? Ihea. That should that that there's a mistake right there. Yeah, ihe is to pee, to urinate. Ihea. I used to hear chesdi tipi too, but that must have been too drastic. You know, chesdi is to like a poop house, or like a crap house. But you could say either or. But like back in the old days, from my understanding too, when we say those words like now there's certain words that would be considered dirty and ugly, but they didn't have that concept with our grandpas. It was everything was descriptive and it was a natural process for everything. So we judge a lot more with the English. And Dakota, they didn't judge like that. And sometimes I even hear kind of like there was some Dakota names that if you were to hear those names now in English, that we would laugh and judge them and criticize them. But our grandfathers never had that kind of mentality, for certain body parts or
And those need
yeah,
to be learned too.
those need to be learned too. Yeah. I did want to eventually talk about Dakota names and let our people know that, sometimes you might go in to find a Dakota name and look at it and judge it compared to today's standards. And it wouldn't be a nice name now. Like you'd be embarrassed if you got some of those names. But our grandfathers, they never had that. They never had that embarrassment for certain body parts or certain things that you would have.
You have to know all
Eh,
that too.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you were called Big Toe or something like that, some people might think, oh, what the heck kind of a name is that? That's like a weird name. But they never had that. That there was a deeper, uh, a non-judgment way of seeing those things. So, so we went through page 4, and then we went through page 5. We saw that Ihea for teepee. I saw that mistake there, but are we good? We're
I think we're good. Yeah.
we try use a teepee. We try use to capture a man. That's use would be to capture. We try use yeah. That's a real interesting word. There's that word use right here is to capture. We try use to capture a person. Okay. Wayaza teepee. Wayaza ka teepee. I just heard Wayaza teepee. Wayaza ka. Page 5 for a hospital. Wazaka TP. You don't have to just say Waza TP, hey, because is that the right way to say it, the Wazaka?
Or I am used to saying woyazati.
Waza TP, yeah.
Woyazati.
Waza TP. That's how I don't remember hearing the Wazaka.
Woyazaka is
Yeah,
being sick already.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Woyazati is a place where
yeah. Waza.
people get sick and they go there.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like a collective, right, of people that are just sick. Yeah, woyazan. That woyazan TP. That's a good word I would like to use for that one too. But again, like we always say, tomato, tomatoes in here, right? So tomato, tomato. So
Woyazati.
woyazan TP. Yeah,
That's where the sickness is. Like the building itself is germs there, like woyazati.
woyazan. Yeah,
That's where people go.
right. That's where people go when they're sick. Woyazan. Yeah, yeah. Uh, chaga TP. Is that ice arena? Yeah, I didn't realize that. Chaga tipi. That's what we can call a keystone now. Chaga tipi. Yeah. All right.
Well, tell them about too. We used to have, before electricity, we used to have chocolate TV where
Cha.
they store their ice, right?
Oh yeah.
They'll make the ice, they'll cut the ice off the rivers or lakes,
Yeah.
and then they'll store it. And they'll try to keep that ice
Right.
frozen for a long time throughout the summer, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Chocolate.
Chaga tipi. So they did have the houses where they stored ice at one time. I remember Ukana used to tell me, this is good for our community to know this. And like in the summertime, they used to have ice right through, but they would pour water down like a hole, and then it forms this huge chunk of ice come middle of winter. And he said that'll stay cold right until almost end of summer, like that. And you keep your milk and different things down there. So, and then yeah, all those little terminology or those little things that they used to do to to survive here in the community. It's stuff we could still do if we really think about it. Yeah. So okay, we'll move to page 6 here. We're pretty okay. We're gonna go through ako iae to get away from here. Dead yanke, dead he, dead he. He came here. Dak dokanu he, dak dokinu. It says on there. Dok. Yeah.
Should be Dakota Khan.
Yeah. Dak dokanu. Dak dokanu he. What are you doing? Dak dokanu he. That's a real important sentence. So That's on here. Daktoka nuha. What are you doing? How many times people are gonna ask you that all day long? What are you doing? Daktoka nuha. Yeah. What are you doing? Yeah.
These are words that, or
Yeah.
little sentences that we can use every day.
Right. Yeah.
Si doctor ka nun, eh?
Yeah. What are yeah.
That's it.
And so daktokunhe. What are they doing? Not just the specific. Daktokumpiha. What are they doing? Right. Like yeah. Okay. Yeah. We could talk about that word a little bit down the road. Let's make a note of that one if we can. That we'll focus on that. What are you doing? What are they doing? What's happening? Dokia dahe. Where are you going? Dokia dahe. Yeah, that's good. Dokia tihe. Where does so and so live? Yati. Where do you live? Dokia yati. Where do you live? Dakuyata yachin. What do you like to eat? That's a real important one there. Dakuyata yachin. Yeah. Yeah. Dakuyata yachin. What do you want to eat? Yeah. So we'll just go through this real fast to the end, to the bottom here, and make sure that we're not making any mistakes. Dokid inichiapi ha. Dokid inichiapi ha. Dokid inichiapi. It's not nichiapi ha. It's nichiapi. Hey, Unkahazi, what do you think? It should be right? Dokid nichiapi ha. Yeah. Dokid nichiapi. So that's another. Uh, how it's written on there, it's written with an I. Dokid e nichia, but dokid nichiapi. That's dokid nichiapi. So that's sort of a mistake there a little bit, but if
Say it like that. They need
yeah,
to, it sounds kind of
yeah,
worried about it.
right. If it's said like that, we totally know what you mean, where you're coming from. But I guess if we were to put it in a big spelling bee, and we really wanted to test you, then we would prefer the nichiapi. Dokid nichiapi, huh? Because would be the word to say something, right? Like, yeah, yeah. Pe, like that, like yeah. Ah, well not well, like that, right? So yeah, would be that word for like to say something or to proclaim something. All right, so uh, wania tu donanikcha, donanikcha. Wania tu donanikcha. How old are you? You wouldn't say wania tu ni donakcha. That's how I remember hearing it.
Dakota.
Yeah. Wania tu ni donakcha. How many winters are you? What would you prefer? Okay. That one or this one here? It doesn't matter. Okay, that's another tomato right there on that one. Wania tu dona. Donanikcha. 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 Kcha. That word right there, you're going to have to really work on kcha. That's kind of like a different one. It's kind of harder. Kcha, kcha, kcha. Yeah. You'll hear that word in wach, kcha, wachcha, kcha. Or certain words that are hard because it's not in the English like kch, kch. That's not in English. You don't, or kch, kch, kch. You don't hear that in English too often. So those are the ones that we really need to focus on practicing. Yeah. Yeah, the only time is when you're a little kid. Ka-ching! Yeah. You didn't hurt me, it ricocheted off. It ka-chinged. Yeah, but when we say wania tu nitonakcha, what we're really saying is how many winters are you? Because we used to count our lives based upon how many winters. I'm 7 winters old. I'm 30 winters old. I'm 20 winters old. Kind of like that. That's how we always said that. Yeah, so just keep that in mind. That's a cultural difference. Now we just say, how old are you? But now we say, how many winters are you? How many winters are you? Wanietu is the word for winter. Wanietu. Yeah. Due ob yati hai. Who do you live with? Who, that word ob would be together, right? That's so really when we're saying that, due ob yati, who together do you live with? Due ob yati hai. So that one's good on that one. Het due ni takoda hai. Who is your friend? Het due ni takoda hai. Yeah. Daku ichanu kte. Daku ichanu kte. What do you like? What daku washtea daka? Huh? What do you like? Yeah.
See, there's the one below that should be like this. You should switch it like this.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. That one. There's a mistake. So, daku ichanu kte. What's that's almost like saying. What do you like to do, or what shall you do, or I don't even know what. Daku ichanu. But anyway,
Isn't that all together?
is it?
Dagu uchando kte washtea daka hai.
Oh yeah.
What do you like to do?
Daku ichanu ki washtea daka.
Dagu uchando kte washtea daka hai. It's all in one. It's not separated.
Yeah. Daku ichanu kte washtea daka hai. The thing that you shall do you like it? Right? That's how.
So these daku chanuk, that's a sentence, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Daku chanuk washtea.
yeah, it's all together.
Shouldn't it be daku ichanu kta? Right?
Yeah, daku chanuk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not kte. Because kte will make it almost like that's the end of the sentence there now. But if it daku ichanu kta washtea daka hai, then that'll make sense. That one kta. Some people say, Jace doesn't know these things. Yeah, I kind of know a little bit. Daku, so that word kta, if that switches, it'll fix it all, right? If we change that daku ichanu kta washtea daku. Washtea daka, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Now that fixed it then. So the things that, see, that word kta, I would want to switch that to ki. Daku ichanu ke washtea daka. The things that you're doing, do you like it? You know, I would change that word from kta to ki. Yeah. Daku ichanu ki washtea daka, huh?
It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Daku chanuk. That is like it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
King will be you're doing it now.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Let's really break down that, and then so we just know that this is a little complicated on this, and there's just a mistranslated because they had the sentences. It looks like there's two of them there, stacked on top of each other. So that's the confusion on that. So that's daku ichanuk da washtea daka. Huh? All right. That's how I would say it. Tui he we chaka. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Oh, huh. All right. Yeah. Hinamakche. Does that sound weird? That word sound all right? Enamakche. So Enama enamakche or henamakcha. Like that. All right, let's fix that. So this is how you would spell that one. Right that?
Yeah.
Dewi chak, eh?
It should be.
Henamakcha. Okay. So you would say, how old are you? And then you put an answer, Hinamakcha. I am 1 year to Wikjamina Dob some Num Pa. Oh yeah. I don't know my numbers that well. It takes me a while to think about it, but yeah. Okay. Okay, so we got those down. On page 6 there, we don't see anything. Donaksha Ihidawapi. Yeah. How much does it cost? So we would say Mazaska Donakcha, right? Mazaska Donakcha. How much does it cost? Yeah. Okay. Mazaska Donakcha. Dohan Dekta. When are you leaving? Dohan Dekta. Dekta. Yeah. That's the phonetics. It looks different, but that's literally how Dekta. Dekta. We would write it like that. Hey, Dekta. But that's all right. Yeah. When are you? Don't have Dekta. When are you leaving? Who wants to hear that? Be sitting there visiting with somebody and trying, don't have Dekta. When are you leaving? Hey, Achin, is that what you want? Okay. Yeah. Tiwahe ni tawa. Yeah, maka iutapi. Makiotapi. They put on there. Maka iutapi. That's miles, right? Maka iutapi. Maka. Tiwahe ni tawa maka iutapi. How many miles do you live from here? Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's another, there's two sentences there mixed up on that one there. But let's take a little break here. My brain is kind of getting kind of foggy here, all getting all like, ooh. So yeah, we'll come back here and have a chandi break, and then have a little, and then come back in. And so those of you again that are with us here, those few of you, how many do we have now listening out there? Zapta. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you guys being here with us here tonight, and we're real thankful that we're gonna keep pushing forward. And again, we had losses in the community again, so our prayers go out to the relatives out there. We pray that we find our healing, heal ourselves and our families and such like that, to live a good life amongst with one another. And definitely our hearts and our prayers go out for all of you that are losing loved ones out there. And it's a hard time for a lot of us. And so, I was saying, since I moved back here to Sioux Valley in August, and since then there's been about 14 people passing away. So we definitely have to take care of ourselves and take care of each other as much as we can. And I really think that the language here will help us to live more abundantly, in my opinion. So in saying that, let's have a little snack and have a good chandi, and then we'll be back in a little bit. All right. Okay, we're back at it. We're all smoked. Yeah. Yeah. De ampetu daku, huh? That's what they're saying. What day is today? Ampetu kite. How would you say? How would you guys say it? Ampetu kite tukted. Or how would you say it? Does that sound right? De ampetu daku, huh? Ampetu de taku, hey?
Either or.
Yeah, yeah. So we're good on that one. So okay. Dohan yahadekta. That one there too. That they just have to switch it to kta, hey? Dohan yahadekte, hey? It's this should be kta. Dohan yahadekta, kta. Kta. That's and we talked about that before. That word kte changes to kta if it's at the end, at the absolute end of the sentence, then it'll be kte. But if it's somewhere in between, it'll be kta. Yeah. Dohan yauktaha. Yeah, when are you gonna come? It would never be Dohan yauktehe. Yeah. So that's one mistake I see there too. That Dohan yahadekta. So instead of it's on the top one there, on page 7 on this book right here, it's the one for when are you going home? Here it says Dohan Yahede Kte He. When are you going home? But it's Dohan Yahede Kta. Kta is the word. Kte and Kta. No. Dohan Yahede Kta. Huh? When are you going home? Okay.
Even if, when we say that,
Mm-hmm.
hat, is hat just like the question mark?
He is the question,
Would
yeah.
that still be that? Like, is that still the end of it? And
If
that one too, hat. Here it's always, it's usually hat.
he, yeah,
Usually hat,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, Yoktedo, you shall come. See, there's nothing at the end of it. The kte is at the end. There's no other word behind it. So it's kte now. But now that he is there, that's one more word there in there. So the kta now. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah? Yeah. Whenever sometimes people used to, you got it? I used to lie. Yeah, I got it. I got it. Because I just want to move on. But we have to make sure that we have absolutely 100% understand that one. That's so important. So whenever you hear the word washtikte, because again, we're not saying oh washtikta, because that doesn't sound right. It's kte. It's an affirmation. It's said at the end. It's gonna happen. So kte is that. Kta means something in between somewhere. Yeah. Do is just the male term. So do is not an actual word itself. Do is just yeah. Do is just yeah, yeah. So kte is the actual word itself. As long as that word is there by itself at the end like that, it's always going to be kte. Even if it's a do or a yeah, those really aren't words. Those are just I'm a man, I'm a female. That's what you're saying in that. Yeah, yeah. So, but that rule there, it's kta is in more of a middle of a sentence somewhere, and so that yeah, yep. Oh, yeah.
So I think this is another full sentence here. When are you going home?
On page 7.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Right? I think that's another one that adds on together.
yeah, yeah. Dohan chaga tipi ta dekta. Dohan chaga tipi dekta. Chaja tipi da. Da is that word da there should be at the end of do. And it says tokan. Is that another mistake again? Should be tohan.
Wuhan, yeah, it should be Wuhan.
It says tokan. Dohan, yeah. Yeah. Dohan kaga. Dohan chaga tipi da dekta. Yeah. Another mistake there on that one. I'll show you guys how I would write that. Dohan chage tipi da. See that's kta right here because there's a word right here behind it, right? So it's kta. Dohan chage tipi da dekta. Does that sound right? Like a little better? Dohan chage tipi de. That word, it's almost they added in it. Da means at in this. Da. Itokaga da. To at. Chare tipita. Chare tipita. Dekta. Dohan chare tipita dekta. When are you going to the ice house? Yeah, okay. What did you do last night? That's how I would put that. But this one here says, does it make sense to you guys? Are they saying, what did you do last night? That's what I would say. But this one here, it says something else. Chtayed. Oh, yeah. Like chtayetu. Okay, yeah. Dayed. Chtayed. Chtayed. Dak token. So last night, yeah. Is there a difference on why we would do hiha versus chtayed? Mm-hmm. Last night. Yeah. So this one will be more along evening. Last night, what did you listen? And then if I said hiha, it'll be more last night when it was dark. Yeah. Ishmishtim at all. I was sleeping. If it's say hiha. But then if it's chtayetuk in the evening, more time. So this is more along the time between like 5 o'clock and then like 11-ish right here. And then hiha would be in the middle of the night, all night through it. Okay, see, yeah, those little details are so important like that. Yeah, Tayed. Yeah, kind of like right now. It's dark time, but we're still up and we're still doing stuff. Yeah, Tayed. Yeah. So in this one here again, we would fix this and we would say Tayed dak tokanu hai. Real simple, hey? Tayed dak tokanu hai. But that word, by the way, that word dak, it's a short for daku. Yeah, dak. So I guess if you were to say it in the daku dokanu hai, if you were to say it the old version, daku dokanu hai. But we're just gonna say dak do ka nu. Dak do ka nu. Dak do ka nu. And then the question is he. So chtayed taktokanu, huh? Chtayed taktokanu, huh? What did you do last night? Taktokanu. Taktokanu. Here's a bunch of TDs here. And a G right here. Taktokanu. 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 Chtayed taktokanu, huh? But then if you knew that maybe Randall was up all night doing something, hiha taktokanu, huh? Hiha taktokanu. What were you doing all throughout the night? All night. Taktokanu, huh? Taktokanu, huh? Taktokanu, huh? Shkad wahi wa'i. I went to play. Shkad, is that? That's what they're trying to do, right? Yeah, shkad. But down there they had shkud or shkud. It looks like that. Yeah, shkad. Shkad will be short for shkate or shkata. Shkad wa'i. I went to play. Shkad wa'i. Shkata wa'i. You could say it like that. Longer version. Hey, shkata wa'i. Or shkate wa'i. Shkad wa'i. Shkad wa'i.
I came to play instead of I went to play. Scott,
I think you'd say wahi, right? It'd be shkad wahi. I came to play. Wahi. And wa'i is I went. Yeah. So if I was coming here and then I came, shkad wahido, I came here to play, myself. And then if I was telling you shkad wa'i, I went to play. So this is a different circumstances where, yeah, yeah, yeah. Got that right. I like those kind of questions. Makes me think. Yeah. Wahi. Yeah, yeah. Shkad wahi. Yeah, it's so Nan. Like next time you go play pool and they say, "Oh, you're just chose Nan. You're just did it." Shkad wahido. I came to play. A chis shkad wahido. They have to have a chis. A chis. Yeah, those of you that don't know, like we take these words for granted. We grew up around here. We always heard that word achis. But it's kind of like a word that you would use for like, well, of course, yeah, achis. Yeah, I always heard that when I was serving at Flower Day. Would you like another scoop? Achis. They'd say, of course. Shkad wahi. Yeah, achis. Yeah. Chtani ha tak tokanu ha. What did you do yesterday? Oh yeah, that's a sentence all there. Chtani ha. Chtani ha. That's a good word to learn for yesterday. Or ampetuki day. Like a ampetuk day would be today, or you would just say wana. Wana de, this now. But if you're talking about something that happened yesterday, chtani ha. Chtani ha. Chtani ha. Chtani ha. Chtani ha. Let's write it down. Break it down. Break it down. Chtang. There's that word first sound. Chtang. Chtani ha. So it's not chta. Oh, yeah. Chtani. Huh, right? All right. No nasal on that. Chtani huh. Chtani huh. Not chtani huh. Chtani huh. Chtani huh. Chtani huh. Chtaniha. 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 Yesterday. Chta. Chta. Chtaniha. 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 Tak dokanu. What did you do yesterday? That sounds true. My favorite thing to say to answer is Dakrishni. Nothing. Or hopefully learning language. This one here, Dakod Woya Hadaka. Would it be E Woya Hadaka? Do you speak Dakota? Iwoya Hadaka. Should we shorten it to Dakota Iwoya Hadaka or Dakota Iwoya Hadaka? Could shorten it, right? But just that's the longer version on that one.
I
Dak-
would think that E would be there.
no, no, just Wo Hadaka. Woya Hadaka. Dakota Woya Hadaka.
You put the E on there, then it
If you
means
put the
you're
E,
talking about Dakota.
yeah, oh yeah, if you put the E on there, you're talking about Dakota. Yeah, 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 yeah. Omaya kachniga. You understand me? Do you understand me? That's that one. That one that says, "Do you understand?"
That's a sentence.
Oh yeah, that's another sentence on there on that. Omaya kachniga oyaki hihe. Can you understand me? Omaya kachniga oyaki hihe. Those are all those sentences on there. We went through all of those ones over. We did the onkia, omakia, okia. We did all those ones there on the conjugations. If you want to go back on that word, that's actually a really, really good to learn those omakia, onkia, because there's so many ways to say that one. All the different conjugations. That's a good one to practice on all those ones. Yeah. Oakachni rishni. I do not understand. Oakachni rishni. That's right. Takeha, heh? What did you say? But this one here, right? It says takehese. Yeah. Takehese. Takehese. I want to write that down. I like that one. Certain words, I just like how they sound. Takehese. Takehese. What did you say? Takehese. Ake eyaya oyaki. Eyaya. Is it eyaya? Eyaya. Ake eyaya oyaki. Could you say it? Ake eyaya oyaki. Akihi, eh? That's a whole sentence they have on the bottom right. Is that one good? Hey, watch that. Hey, okay. Could you say it again?
It's supposed to be oyaki.
Yeah. Okay, that's one mistake there on that bottom right. On that bottom one then. So let's write the correct way on how we're gonna fix that one. I think we're gonna redo this whole book again. Hey guys, we'll just do just 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 make our own. Yeah, it's our turn. Our turn to make mistakes, Josh. Just kidding. uh, Ake ea oyaki, huh? Can you say it again? Is that how I would? That's how I would say it. Hey, we chat. Huh?
No, the correct one would be like this.
Okay.
AI oyaki.
Yeah. This that akihi that's got to get out of there.
That has to be removed.
Yeah. De we chaka. Huh? Ake ea oyaki. Yeah. It's simpler. Yeah. Oh, watch it. Okay, that's so that last sentence there on could you say it again? Number 7. Ake eaya oyaki. Ake eaya oyaki. Ake eaya oyaki. Can you say it again? A reply, he would say, "Ho, oaki hiro." Yes, I can. Yeah. What's this? A truce. It's so funny when you hear just one little word like that makes you laugh. Yeah. Dokie, dokia ya unhe. It says dokie ya unhe. On number 8. Yeah, dokia ya unhe. So that one right there, instead it says dokie, we're gonna dokia ya. Is it ya or ya u? Ya u. Oh yeah. So where are you? Dokia ya unhe. Where are you? And you call somebody, you ask them, they're in Brandon somewhere. Dokia ya unhe. Where are you? He'll say, Wally's Waundo. I'm at Wally's. We went and ate at Wally's yesterday. Holy man, that's chode. But man, you get thirsty afterwards. The best wings in Brandon. I said, I'll give you guys props on the television show if you give me free wings or on our language class. They got a new owner there, little. So I was hoping it's not going to be different. That old man is retired. Mm. Yep. Dog Iaya. That would be short for Dokia again, right? Dokia Iaya. And it's a sad sentence to hear that, but we hear that in our memorial songs. Dokia Iaya. Or Dokia Iaye. Where did you where are you where did you go? See, you can hear that difference there. Dokia, I'll show you this real quick. Dokia Ia Iaya. Where did you go? Dokia Iaye. Where did you go right now? Like, where are you now? Iaye, Iaya. You'll recognize this word here on Iaya, Dances with Wolves, John Dunbar. Iaya! Ya ushniwo. Don't come. Don't come. Ya ushniwo. Yeah, Iaye. So, Dokia Iaya. Where did you go? Like, Chtani ha Dokia Iaya. Where did you go yesterday? But now it's Wana Dokia Iaye. Where did you go right now? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So just so that past, present. Yeah. But you'll hear a lot of that Dokia Iaye. Where did you go? Where did you go? Because in that morning time, for those that first year, we tend to look for our relatives on earth. We're still looking for them as if they're here, hoping we'd see them. That's a natural feeling that we go through during mourning. And so for that first year, that's where did you go? Where did you go? We're always looking for them, right? So um, that's why you would hear that in those songs. Where did you go? Where did you go? Dokia iai. Dokia iai. Where did you go? Yeah. Very important word. Yeah. But on here they have it like written like this. Dog. That's the shortened version. Hey, dogiaya, dogiaya, dogiaya. Where'd you go? Dog, dog. So just as long as this is the kind of like the slang version, but that we gotta learn that. We gotta learn that, and because it's almost like the slang version is becoming the just the way to say it now. They probably languages change over the years. I don't know if you guys ever go back into listen to English in the 1600s. It's almost you can't even understand what they're saying, you know. So I imagine just as languages, Dakota language must have evolved so many times into where we're at now. Yeah. So takoyachi, what do you want? Yeah. You can say that every time you pick up your phone. Takoyachi, what do you want? You can say it in a loving way. Takoyachi, what do you want? What would you like? What do you desire? Hewachin, I want that. That's good. Hanawachin, I want that. Omakia, oyaki, Omakia, oyaki, yeah. Omayakia. Yeah, we got to talk about that. That word omakia is switches omayakia. Omayakia. You to help. That's something. Let's talk about that tomorrow. I'm gonna make a note of this one because we're kind of getting late. This is a topic here. I think it's really very important because, man, that changes. Omakia, omayakia. You know that changes. That changes there on different circumstances. So we'll go back and talk about that a little bit tomorrow before we continue on with our relative stuff, because I think that's a real important. So just going real quick, I think we'll kind of slow things down here. Just going along real quick there, relatives. Does everything look good on page 8 here? Yeah. So far, what I'm seeing is everything looks good. That word shiche, we chawad. Shiche, we chawad. I don't like them. That's a S, it says CH on there. Just a little spelling variations, I think, that are just on that word right there. But I no, not too many people say it like that. They usually say washte wadakishni, right? Like that's usually how they say it. Shiche wadaki. Shiche wadake. You know, I don't hear it too often said like that. But that's more like a negative way of saying it, I imagine. It sounds nasty. Yeah, like I don't like them. I don't like that. And then there was another wachtewada. That's another one. That's if they don't they like me. Yeah, wachtewadash. You know, we'll talk about that one too. But I think this page 8 here, aside from that little spelling error on page 8, all this looks good. So so yeah. Yeah, just a few little variations here and there. And I think as we're going through, it'd be nice. We'll redo this. We'll redo this. But some of you guys might already have this book at home. At least now you can say, well, I know what needs to be worked on, what needs to be fixed. Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah, and so I just bought a printer for the house now, and so like that's one of the things I print off all the translations, and then either one of the relatives here will help me with our translations, and definitely we do have a lot more translations to work on, and I think we were going to work on the Constitution stuff, right? I think we were going to just maybe look at it, and so those of us that are the elders that I guess you can look at more of an advanced class. Those of you at home that are more advanced, it would be nice if you can come to those meetings because I've heard from elders now. I even hear now, like different elders are saying, I'm losing my language today because I have nobody to talk to.
Exactly. That's exactly how I was feeling today.
That's how
I
you're
feel
feeling
so
too.
lost. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
you know that I'm usually talking Dakota, but he's not there now.
Right. Yeah.
You know what to do right now.
Right. Yeah.
At home, right?
Right. Yeah. A-
Big loss.
And for reals. Yeah. And so I really believe what my thinking is. I want to be the one to gather a lot of us together to put us in one place. And like I've the home where I'm living, I've opened that up to all of us. I know to me you can come there, it's a lot warmer. We're freezing in this place here. Yeah, and sometimes you can see your breath. Hey, not that bad, but but yeah, we had that last meeting at my home last time, and sometimes we just sit around and just discuss some of these deeper issues, and sometimes we don't just talk language. We talk about the and mostly just the gappies. Hey, just kidding.
So when is the next meeting?
Well, I guess we can really have them whenever we want to, you know. Yeah, like even like for myself, like even if we can come and meet before our classes here, I think will be. But I don't want to get us too tired, you know, because we're. But I always think if we could meet before, you know, to talk about what's coming and what we're gonna be doing and like all that kind of stuff too. But I think in a sense too is to deinstitutionalize our culture. And so that's why I always like the idea of bringing it in the home and us sitting around at home and, you know, you could go make some toast or whatever, help yourself something to eat, make coffee. You know, we're just relaxing, enjoying our day and sitting around and talking language as best we can. And, but also too, to really challenge ourselves, those of us that are fairly knowledgeable of the language, to get challenge ourselves be one more 100%, you know, strong in the language. And I think about that um, um, with Uncan passing, you know, like it's just so much more. We got to move here because, you know, we think our relatives are going to live forever. It's so easy to think that. We didn't think anybody's going to go, but now it's so important that we continue on and keep moving forward.
Yeah, start using what you know now.
Right,
Use it now.
right. Yeah, start using what you know.
Like we're using it now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Roma, kiste.
Yeah. Oh, oh, watch the. So, hinakshikte.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, that'll be enough for here tonight, and okay, we'll be here tomorrow. We're a little bit late here tonight, but tomorrow we'll be ready to go. But keep in mind, we're not the ones that are responsible for keeping the language going. That's up to us at home. So we might say, well, there's no language class. That doesn't mean we stop at home, right? That they're not on the class today, but I'm gonna go back and review, or I'm gonna go do something else. So just keep at it. Yeah, there's a lot to remember and such. So now that I have a printer, we'd be able to do a lot more translating and stuff like that at home and make it a lot more easier and fun. And that's the main thing. We'll have a lot of fun. Because I know for me, it's like healing, even when we just sit around and talk the culture and the language. That's healing for me. I could just sit there and listen to the stories all day long. And there's snow on the ground and there's snow outside. So I think technically we can start sharing the Hotunka copy, you know, now. You know, we don't have to worry about the Zuzuchara coming into our houses. I was always scared of that. And I remember one time I had to tell a dream in the middle of summer, and I had a dream a snake came in my home. So that was just as worse. So I wouldn't want to dream about that either. So like, yeah, we trying to stick to the protocols and how the things were done, and try not to lose our way, and stay to the rules. And so with that, you know, have a good sleep. Daya ishti mapo mitaki pi. Yeah. Tayo upo. Oh.